Hi everyone. Hi Lydia.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey. Um, we both got together to do a little video presentation about an upcoming show that we have at Mountain Trails Gallery in Sedona. And let me go ahead and pull that up and show you a little bit about that. And thank you, Lydia, for hosting this and allowing me to kind of um, run through the website a little bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. Really excited about this upcoming show.
So this show is called Colors of the West. It's a group show, and then it celebrates the color of Arizona. And so me and Lydia are both on the show, in the show, and as well as Jerry Salinas, Ryan Smith, Linda Glover Gooch, uh, Sue Kristen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gregory Stocks, and then Susan. How do
Susan
you say her last name again?
Kliewer.
Kliewer, and
Yeah.
she's really cool. I've talked to her several times. And then we're also going to have a discussion there for that first Friday, and it's October 3rd from 4 to 7. And it's going to be the topic of the conversation is going to be fresh perspectives on Western art and more.
Mhm.
So, me and Lydia thought it was really fitting that you have two of the artists given their fresh perspectives, Western art and more. So it'll be great to hear Lydia's perspective. I really enjoy both Lydia and her work, and she's gotten me involved with Mountain Trails Gallery, which has been incredible. I really like Julie there as well. So great team and real positive energy. And that's
Yeah.
huge when you're looking for artwork.
Yeah.
So just want to show you a little bit of Lydia's work, and we're talking about color in Arizona and then a fresh perspective on Western art in general. So can you tell me a little bit about this painting right here?
Yeah, this one is from my trip to Monument Valley last spring, and I was actually invited to go and paint with a group of Navajo artists. The photographer Jeremy, he has Three Feathers Studio, also an amazing portrait painter, kind of put it together. And the New Mexico plein air painter J.R. Sanders was there. Um, Really intimate way to experience that landscape, and it's definitely one of the most sacred places I've ever been. It was definitely like a spiritual experience with the land. And this particular painting is from like a clouded over sunset that transpired that evening after I was painting there. I named it the space between because it felt like this moment of being between like the physical and spiritual worlds. And I thought it was a great analogy that you had kind of this vast outlook between these monumental rock features. So it's kind of like an homage to that place. Yeah, I wanted it to feel very moving. Kind of has that low light after sunset glow, which, can be a challenge to recreate. So yeah, it's an 18
Yeah,
to 24 inch, so kind of like medium sized. It's not huge, but not small. I created a lot of plein air paintings when I was there. It was very cold, very windy. Like some winds were 50 miles per hour. A lot of my paintings got covered in sand.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know that that's when you know that you're collecting something authentic is when you
Yeah.
have sand in it.
Yeah.
And I always know when my painting is finished when I have a bug land on it. That's when I know, okay,
Right.
painting's done, you
Yeah.
know. But it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love the color. I love the movement. Yeah, with the paint and the brushwork. I like the interpretation as well. And it feels like more of a memory than something where I need to put everything right, you know. And so the interpretation is just beautiful. So
Totally.
very nicely done. This is another painting. This is in Western Art Collector, and it's there as part of the ad. And I'm also in that ad, and so definitely grateful for Mountain Trails for that.
Yeah.
And I think this is such an intriguing piece because it blends plein air with some geometric abstraction. And me personally, I'm kind of a Howard Post fan, and so I kind of like a little bit of that, that geometry in the painting. What time of the day was this that you were
This is
painting there?
sunset. I was on the rim. I had just finished doing a plein air painting, and you know, the last light just lit up those rocks. There was like this really intense line going across the tops of these rocks, almost like splitting this up into two different worlds, you know?
Right,
Uh,
right.
so it was just like this moment, and I was like, I have to recreate that. I don't know if I'll be successful in it in the execution, but I need to try to like recreate this feeling, of this canyon almost completely in shadow, except for that last bit of light on the horizon.
Yeah. I think it's really dynamic and it's a really good size too. So it's
Yeah,
24 by 48. And I always think about these when I do these type of paintings, they're really good. Like they can be transitional paintings, or they could be really good for like over the fireplace sort of paintings, or
yeah,
even like over you know, like some sort of entryway. I kind of like that as well.
for sure.
Let me go down to this. I love this painting too. This was plein air, right? This was done in
This
two
was, yeah,
sessions.
two-session plein air painting. This one got accepted into the Oil Painters of America national exhibit that was just this last June. Um, so that was really cool. This is over at Schnebly Hill Road. I
It's a
actually,
great title for it too.
yeah, Mun's Majesty.
Hmm.
Yeah, those are the Mun's Mountains. The Mun's Mountain Wilderness is kind of like over there. You have the Mun's Wagon Trail leading you into the landscape. A lot of the pink Jeep tours go out there. It's just really a beautiful feature in Sedona, and I feel like a lot of artists have painted that feature too.
I have been there one time looking for a painting spot, and
Yeah.
the thing I saw that wanted to paint was this. I didn't even know what it
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
then I saw you paint this. I'm like, wow. So
Mm.
that's how you paint that. You did such a good job. I love it.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, there's
and
a lot going on. There's a lot to simplify in it.
yeah, and our family owns one of Lydia's
Oh,
pieces too.
so
So,
honored.
yeah, so it's on our wall next to Bill Kramer because they studied together.
Yeah.
So, or she studied with Bill,
Yeah.
which I really like. So, there's more work. I'm gonna show a few, like three of my paintings, and then we'll go back. Maybe we can even show some sold work. Now, um, we're both available for commissions as well. So if you see some work that's sold, then you can always just reach out and say, this is what I want. This is the size I want. And we are like, yes, we would love to do that for you. Absolutely. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go back and then I'll show you a few. And this is connected to color in Arizona. So if you go, you can purchase any of these just right off of Mountain Trails website as well. So and then I'm right down here. So this is my work. Um, you can kind of scroll through
First
through on it.
image here. If you go up, the first image was featured in the last issue of or this issue of Western Art Collector. So that we were in that ad together for the show. So this is a beautiful painting that's right at the entrance when you walk into the gallery. It's 30 by 40. It has an amazing presence.
Yeah,
And the colors are incredible that time of day, the mood, and it's done with palette knife.
yeah. So it's a little bit thicker. It's more kind of a sculptural piece.
Like tactile for sure.
Yeah, very tactile.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this one. And I kind of um I'll try different approaches in each painting. So some of my paintings might be more brush and then some of them might be more palette knife.
Yeah.
I'll show this one right here. So this one is titled Canyon Sunrise, and try to get a little bit better. So this one is 72 by 36 inches. And I did a celebration of art at the Grand Canyon last year. So I was out on Hermit's Rest Road like 4:30, 5 a.m. with
Wow.
Robert Goldman.
Yeah.
So, and I hung out with Bob Goldman like every day, you
Oh my
know,
gosh.
and I loved hanging out with
So
him.
great.
Anyhow, we even played basketball up there. They have a basketball court up there, so we shot some hoops. Anyhow, but this is like 4:35 in the morning, and it's so hard to capture this plein air because you don't want to look into the sun. That's
Right.
something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And so I got part of it just with a quick sketch there, and then
Mhm.
part of it, a little bit with my camera, but a painting like this, especially a larger painting like this, you really want, you really need to be painting from memory and invention. And I'm from Arizona, and so this, when you're from here or you've immersed yourself here, kind of like Lydia has, as well, is some of the color just starts kind of like it just kind of flows out of you. You make choices because you've seen it before,
Yeah.
or it makes sense in that painting. So so as far as the color, especially in Arizona, for me, it's that the color in the sunrises and the sunsets, and then that golden hour when it hits like, all like, the we have a lot of tumbleweeds around me, but when it
Yeah.
hits all that stuff,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know,
Yeah.
it really it's beautiful. It's crazy. It's just
Like
so beautiful.
magical. It's pure magic, you know?
Hmm. And then this is another piece that I have in the show, Cathedral Sunset.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the same colors, but so my work is, and Lydia and I were talking about this as well, is I really focus on we're talking about I focus on the feeling of the painting as much as the image. So it might be, Sedona, but I'm also kind of looking at that really warm, bright moment, or in this case, that very cool, calm moment.
Mhm.
Incidentally, this is a painting down in Buckeye, Arizona. This was a plein air piece. In this case, it's really early morning before the sunrise, and I'm painting it outside very directly.
Yeah.
And so, kind of just going back to kind of like early impressionists, where it's just kind of like, how do the haystacks look at this time of the day,
Right.
and the color communicates the feeling. So if I have a lot of cool colors, I'm gonna have a cooler feeling in the painting, and especially in your space for as a collector, than a really warm painting
Yeah.
that might, lead you down the hall, or, invite, guests into very active spaces in your collection as well. So, if you think it's cool, maybe we go through some like sold work, so
Yeah,
so people can kind
definitely.
of see, some previously sold work. So I'm just going to go back over to Lydia's work over here, so we kind of get a sense of that. So when you're on the website, you just go all the way down, towards the bottom, and Lydia is the resident artist at Mountain Trails Gallery. So she lives there. That's incredible. So, and that's one of the reasons why I have one of your paintings too, is because you're so immersed there, your
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah.
So are these all plein air? These
No,
different?
there's a mix. There's a mix of plein air. That's plein air. Um, and then I do a lot of demos in the gallery. Usually on the weekends, I'll do like a painting at the easel. So, this is a gallery demo, that one of Watson Lake.
This one's still available.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
beautiful painting.
thank you. And a lot of a lot of studio paintings that I do, all of the studio paintings that I do are inspired by my time in the landscape. So even if I'm not working from a physical plein air study, there's the memory of that experience, maybe multiple experiences that go into that painting. So these are both plein air.
I like how you have the red of the rock. Like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
color do you use for this red right here?
I have a lot of cadmiums on my palette. So like I'll mix cadmium yellow medium with cadmium red medium. And that creates a really intense red. Um, Lately, what I've been doing is mixing alizarin crimson with cadmium yellow medium. And that kind of creates like a little bit of a calmer red, so or like orangey red, depending on how much yellow versus red that I add. I almost always add little amount of ultramarine blue to kind of desaturate that orange color too. Um, yeah, the photo in this is maybe a little warmer than the actual painting.
Yeah, but it's cool to hear those combinations. I've
Yeah,
seen this one in person. I really like that one as well.
yeah, that one was like it was a plein air painting that I touched up in the studio. So sometimes I'll do that too. I'll do a lot of it on site and then I'll
Hmm.
do the finishing touches when I'm back inside.
Yeah, and any of these paintings can be kind of built up into larger works
For
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
I was just on this is the one I have, by the way.
Yeah, that's a plein air piece over at Posse Grounds Park, which is where like the elementary school is here in Sedona.
Yeah, so I'm one of your collectors now, so I need to make sure that you travel via three horsebacks
Yeah.
with 10 satchels over your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't tell me that's from the park. That's like that tells me you drove there with a
Right,
sandwich in your
right.
hand. You know?
Yeah.
I'll keep going down here a little bit. There's another a painting down here. Um, I love this one by the way. Oh my gosh, I
Sycamore
love this.
trees. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
my favorite spots is Red Rock Crossing, which is where Oak Creek is, and
Hmm.
beautiful sycamore trees along the creek.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll share too, because I have that aspen painting.
Yeah,
So this
that
is
is
kind of remind me of that a little bit
yeah,
too.
the Nordic Village. I love that one.
I love sycamores. They're
Yeah,
just
they're
awesome.
beautiful.
Let me go down because I'm just looking at this. Everyone has, you know, their favorites.
Yeah,
I love how the color worked throughout this entire painting.
that was a plein air piece that
Hmm.
really quick moving sunset light, so you can kind of feel the immediacy in the paint application. And like definitely that warm sandstone feeling,
Right.
and then the cool shadows.
And I think, with your work, that's what I think, as far as the addition to a collector's collection, especially because now I can speak from experience as well, is that, it's kind of like it's kind of like a historic painter coming to the West and then seeing the West for the first time. Whereas, I'm kind of from here, so I
Yeah,
really have to, you know, I think I'm painting a lot from kind of just feeling of what it, you know, like driving to Kingman when Bullhead City is like 100 and something degrees, stuff like that.
right, right,
But, when I think people are collecting work, they're collecting, a true plein air painter who's not just connected with the landscape in terms of color, but also genuinely immersed in you know the symbolism of what this landscape means
right.
as a resident in Sedona. Now, with my work, it's really color first, and my work is studio focused. You're seeing quite a bit of studio work here. So even this painting, this is actually
That
in
cattle
Mountain Trails
ordinary.
right now.
Yeah,
And if you take a look at this painting, this is entirely a studio piece. I did an event at the Brinton Museum called the Bighorn Rendezvous, and I did a quick draw of this composition. And the quick draw was I did a quick draw there, and then I did a residency show, and those shows were 2 weeks apart. But when someone bought the quick draw, I was thinking, man, there's a composition there for a bigger painting. And
Yeah.
we flew home, my wife and I, before going back 2 weeks, for the residency show. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm painting that. And I painted that the week in between those two shows. So this is
Wow.
a bigger painting. It's one of those things where you got to see it in person, sort of
Yeah.
thing, But so it's 48 by 60. And this is one of those paintings. These are red Angus in Bighorn, Wyoming. So, but this is one of those paintings that definitely painted itself. And
Yeah.
I'm using a little bit of, for the artist out there and for, the collector learning more about, how painting is constructed. I'm using a lot of color contrast here. So I have these kind of reds against these greens sort of
Yeah.
thing going on. So those are complementary colors. And then sometimes I do these reds against this orange. But all these colors, they look really intense, but they're a little bit more muted than they appear. But it's
Yeah.
definitely a lot about, like with your red rocks, it's about the red Angus color right there, and so kind of muting everything down so it kind of fits in there.
Right. Yeah, and it's 48 by 60, so it's definitely, a big statement piece and um
This is
so
definitely one, don't you think so? It's like you got to see that in person.
you
It,
definitely do, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I could see someone designing their whole like main room around it.
yeah. Sometimes I do these. This one's still available. They just sold one similar to this. These are
Yeah,
smaller paintings. They're 12 by 12, and they're the Grand Canyon. And they do I'm trying to, when I design these, I'm looking at the shadow patterns and not necessarily like any specific place at the Grand Canyon.
right.
So I'm looking at the patterns and coming up with really interesting designs with these. So you kind of see there's one available. Doing that a little bit with the with Cathedral here as well. And then with both these, this one sold this week right here, Canyon Atmosphere.
That's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, for these are if you look at my Instagram too, I these are 12 by 12, but I painted these 36 by 36. So, you can see, and they can even go bigger. This painting behind me is 48 by 60, and I am a parent of twins, so if you give me a job, I'm gonna do it. So I really like this one too with the design. I'll
Yeah.
try to zoom the design of the Colorado River right here. And again, being from Arizona, Colorado River is like a huge connection point for me because my grandparents lived in Bullhead City. And so Bullhead City is across from Laughlin. And so we had to cross the Colorado River all the time to go to where they worked. And
Oh,
so the Colorado River for me is like, these passenger boats that we always went over,
wow.
And so, and those were like big days. We're gonna cross the Colorado. We tubed the Colorado when I was a kid. There's wasp everywhere attacking us, you know.
Yeah, for
So, and it's really, really cold. I'll tell you that. It gets really cold.
yeah, it's
Um,
a harsh environment, in the canyon. It's intense for sure.
yeah. Um, this is another one that I want to do. Oops. I think this one would be a really good long piece. I
Yep,
remember
that
you
would
saying
be
that.
that would be a great like 24 by 48 a
Yeah.
place, of just the top of Cathedral. So nice. And I love that kind of like purpley shadow against the green shadow in the
Yeah.
rock. It
Hmm.
just vibrates so intensely. And then the warm green of the sky.
Yeah,
Really
this
stunningly executed, Anton.
yeah, this is one of those paintings where some of my paintings are more like pictures,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
some are more color fields.
right, right.
I mean, this one's actually a plein air piece. This is Duck on a Rock.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, this is 100% painted, with a brush, um, plein air. And, and so, I like both of those approaches. I like, like abstract expressionist painting. We've talked about that before. And then I like, Sargent as well. So
yeah,
kind of blending those two worlds a little bit.
right.
Robert Lemler told me that he really liked this one because I was like,
Yeah, that's a great piece.
you know, or I was talking about Robert Goldwyn. I'm sorry, you might mess up. Um, so as far as like, um, I just wanted to hear your thoughts a little bit, just kind of like a little, I guess, little teaser about fresh perspectives on Western art. And go ahead and stop share, and I'll put you on the spot, I guess. And so as far as um, I guess I guess when I think about Western art, and we only have a few minutes too, is when I think about Western art is personally I just think about like, Dixon, or I think about Georgia O'Keeffe, think about, Taos Society,
Right.
um
California
and
Impressionists, a little bit,
yeah, a
right?
little bit of California impression.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, and maybe this is like we won't be able to do this in 5 minutes. Like, where do
Yeah.
you think Western art is now? Do you see yourself as a Western artist? Where do you think Western art is now? And then also, um, um, where would you like to go with it?
Yeah. Well, for me, with Western art, you see a lot of the cowboy culture. And I tend to resonate a lot with more of like the Native American philosophy. I really see it as this like deep and sacred connection to the landscape. And I think even ranchers and anyone who has really rooted themselves in the Western landscape has a very deep sensibility and connection uh, to it. So that's what I kind of relate to in my own work is just the big skies, the big sunsets, the vast canyons and like the rivers and like finding these like finding an oasis in the desert and having just so much rich cultural heritage. Yeah, there's definitely like a quality to living and working in the landscape that goes back many generations. And so, I guess I would consider myself a Western artist because I'm living here and I'm deeply working within the context of nature.
Yeah, and it's great that you say that word oasis in the desert because that really sums up a lot of your work in my mind too.
Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
the monsoons,
Hmm.
the rain that comes and keeps everything alive, and just the different cycles, the droughts, the abundance, like all of it is just a part of this like very impermanent landscape. It's like you have these sandstone cliffs that used to be at the bottom of the ocean, and they're constantly being shaped by the sun and the wind, and it's like you really feel like it's a living, breathing entity.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And I,
just oh,
yeah,
I'm
it's very,
sorry. Go ahead, Lydia.
that's what I relate to in it. It's like, yeah, it feels like you're a part of this, um, thing that's so much bigger than you.
Yeah, and I like how you bring in um That's what I was saying is I think you do a good job dealing with just the abstract qualities of painting, and then also bringing in your own symbolism and your own meaning towards the landscape. And so it works really, I think, kind of organically with you. And so definitely inspiring and so I'm always excited to see what you're doing and where you're going. So
You
that's
as
all I can
well.
ask for an
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah. I mean, you've been here for your whole life and you've really, rooted yourself here. And I think that's super evident in your work as well. Just this attempt to recreate that experience rather than just like an image.
Yeah. Well, oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great way of saying that. Yeah. And kind of maybe that's a commonality as far as like perspectives right now. Just bringing that emotional quality without being kind of like heavy-handed with it. It's
Right.
like this is and I'm thinking about, where Western art is now is you know um definitely some sort of there's always a romanticism to the West. I always
Yeah.
that's there.
Yeah.
But on top of that, living here is a lot about space and a lot about color, you know. And
Definitely.
so kind of, we can be in spaces, I know myself, where it's just completely just like desolate, and then we could find a painting there.
Yeah.
Whereas, in other areas other kind of like temperaments, that would be a little bit more tricky. And
Yeah.
so, finding the beauty in the desert, but then also, the West is broader than that. It's so huge. And so, I have a seascape behind me
Yeah.
and
Totally. The ocean is part of it as well. The
mhm.
coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a really good Bill Anton painting where he had these horses and the seascape behind, and I
Wow.
kind of think that see that as part of the West too. But you know, and so what I was thinking is with Dixon is that when I grew up, that's what I thought of a Western artist or an artist in the West. He's kind of
Yeah.
the model of whereas like modernism and abstract expressionists are New York, you know? And so I know we're probably both doing this where we're bringing New York and then, I've never lived in New York. You had that experience, but bringing those two you know, kind of things a little bit, you know, together a little bit more so that we can, communicate what it's like, what it feels like to be here. And so
Yeah.
if you're really connected to, the color and the abstraction in the work and just the overall feeling of the work, that's what I think me and you like we're really focusing on, on that.
Yeah.
And it's also um we both paint plein air, so I know for me personally is I feel like I have to earn it. Like I feel like do you feel that way where you really have to
Oh,
go out
yeah,
there and earn
absolutely.
something? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the hours you spent in the field. They show up in the studio and they're just as much a part of your work as anything else.
Yeah.
For me, I would say that's the foundation of my practice is being in the lands, like painting outside and, being outside here.
Yeah, that's definitely mine too. That would be another good talk too.
Yeah.
Foundation, plein air is foundation.
Yeah.
Um, so let me just show this website one more time about this event. And then, so this is October 3rd. Um,
4 to
uh,
7 p.m. Yep.
and then Colors of the West. It's a group show. I hope many people can come and enjoy the work. And then, there's food and drink. There's food and drink. There's
Yeah.
one drink.
Have to find
So
out.
we'll share that. It's a goblet.
Oh my gosh.
We'll pass it around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you so much, Lydia,
You and make sure
for
you guys check out Anton Nowels workshops because he is a great teacher. I took one myself. It was definitely it like blew my whole world open. So, if you really want to get more with color theory and design, check out Sedona Art Center, Scottsdale Artist School, Winslow Art Center. Definitely check out his website. So,
Yeah, cool. Well,
so
thank
much
you.
for talking to me today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much as well.